So today we'll be talking about the backbone of physics calculations inside of Unity. So right now what I have in my scene, as you can see, it's a simple capsule which I added a component to it, and that is my rigid body. So this is what we'll be talking about today, this rigid body, which allows you to calculate to do physics calculations inside of a game object. So for those of you who have never come across this or maybe have and are trying to understand what it really does, that's what we'll be explaining today right now in this video. So in my scene I have a capsule which has a mesh renderer by default to show you the game object, and also this collider which allows it to collide with our plane, this plane on the scene. But more importantly, if I should play my game, and you can see that my capsule falls. You can see that my capsule is falling from the sky and it lands on this plane. So that why this happens is that I ticked on this gravity check right here. So let's just begin the lesson for today. So let's start by talking about this mass. Now this mass, Unity set the unit by default to kilograms. So this is kind of like the quantity of matter inside of your body. It's what pulls it down when this gravity button is ticked on, and that's what it does anyway. So you can reduce it maybe to like 0.5 kilograms. That's about 500 grams if I'm not mistaken or so. Next is this angular drag, and this is how resistant this is going to be to air. So if I should up this value to, let's say, something like 2 or maybe even 5. Let's test our game now. So we can see that our game object is falling much slower than before. So if I change this back to, let's say, 0, you can see the difference now. It's coming down fast, really fast, and it touches the ground. So if you want, maybe let's say like you want the game object to glide or something of that level, you can always use this angular drag so it can behave that way. This drag, and our next button would be the angular drag. This angular drag, this deals with rotation. That's when you are using the torque, or did I say that right? It's supposed to be torque or torque Q or something like that. I don't know. I'll check my dictionary later. But this is kind of like, this is the resistance, air resistance, and this is the rotation resistance. So the more you up this value, the less likely it is to rotate while falling from the air. We've talked about gravity, that's what makes it fall. So this is like by default there. But this is kinesmatic. If we should tick this and play the game object, or the game rather, let's see what happens. So our game is on, it's playing, but look over here, nothing is moving precisely. So that is what that is kinesmatic does. It just refuses to let physics calculations be performed on our game object, but rather this transform can be moved. So if inside our code we are relating to this transform, trying to move this via transform, then it's going to work. Because if you have a rigid body on and then you are using the transform to move game object, most of the time they tend to have a bit of conflict with each other. So once this is kinesmatic is on, this would have no problem at all whatsoever. So that is just what it does. Basically, nothing big, very simple. Next would be our interpolate. So this interpolate, it smoothens the transform before the next frame, and the other one does exactly the opposite. So before the previous frame, it kind of smoothens the transform. So whatever happens over here, maybe the position, rotation, or scale, they kind of smoothing it out so that it won't have like kind of a jerkiness or something like that. You can test this out. Next is our collision detection. On this collision detection, by default it is set to discrete, but you can set it to any of these. Mind you, this is just the level at which it detects collision. That's this game object which the rigid body is on. If you're not moving your game object maybe at a fast speed, then it's best you leave this at discrete. Otherwise you can change it to continuous, dynamic, and speculative. This gives assistance in detecting collision faster when you're moving, so you can also check that out. Finally will be these constraints for our rigid body, this freeze, position, and rotation. So exactly what it sounds like. If you freeze any of these on that axis, that would be frozen. So this X deals with the position on the X, Y position on the Y, and Z same thing, same as the rotation. So whatsoever happens, if you freeze the position, it wouldn't move on that axis. Same as the rotation, it would not be rotated there. And this info just gives us a normal display of how our body is moving. So let's say the angular velocity, rotational velocity, the speed at which it's moving, the velocity which is being added to it, and so that's the simple thing about it. Now I'm going to show two functions which we can call upon, or just two basic lines of code. Anyways, they are functions, so those are the things which we can use to relate to the rigid body. Quickly, we're going to go create a C# script, and we're going to name this move. We'll deal with movement and rotation, so let's name this like rigid, short for rigid body, and then we'll double click this to check out Visual Studio. So I'll see you there. Inside of Visual Studio now, what we can do is come into our class and make a reference to our rigid body. So this would be rigid body. This would be RB. And then inside my start, let me make a proper reference to this. So let's say RB. Let's find it, which is get component. Component. This should be my rigid body. So we now update to test out these simple functions. What we do now is we're going to check if input dot get key down, and we're going to give this a key code. This key code would be W. Do that should be a big letter, so or uppercase letter. So this should be okay. Let's see. And I want to add a force to my rigid body, so we do this by using the add force. And for the force we want to add, this would be 0 on the X, 0 on the Y. Let's put something like 90 on my Z. And let's save this and make another one. So let's copy this, just down, we can paste it and change this from key code W, let's say Z, and let's change this 90 to minus 90. So let's save this now and see and check out Unity. Let's change this back. This should not be caps lock. This should be a lowercase rigid body. So let's save this. Once this is done compiling, what we can do is drag this script onto our capsule. So once added, we can test out our game. First, I want to deactivate or remove this gravity because we're not going to be using it, and then I'm going to play my game. And once this is playing, for us to actually see the capsule, we can change this from 102 to 0. I think we should do so. Let's test out our keys. The first was our W key. You can see it's adding force forward, and then our Z key, which brings it back. So we can see that the add force is actually working, but for some reason it's rotating, and that is the problem with the add force. It's difficult to control what it actually does. The reason why it's rotating is because it touched with the collider, or it touched this plane which had a collider on it, so it's causing it to behave somehow or act somehow, and without gravity we can't actually control the behavior. So let's off this game. And this is one of the reasons why you shouldn't use add force to make movement in your game. Let's set this to 0 for our next test, because it's really difficult to handle. It just keeps on going on until it collides with something, and even so, it's not a good it's not a good function to just control movement. You better use the transformer or something else. And the next thing we'll talk about besides the add force would be the add torque. So with this add force, we tested these on the z-axis. You can go on and try this for the x and y. What we would look at now would be the torque, or so this is spelled this way. This is the second functionality which you can use once you add a rigid body to a game object. So same thing down here. So add torque, and without anything, let's save this and let's see what this does inside Unity. So we can go ahead and test this now by loading the game, and with this done loading, with the W key, you can see what it does. This handles rotation, and the Z does the opposite, so it rotates on the Z axis. So these are like the two simple lines of code which you can use to interact with the rigid body inside of your game object. So with this done, I hope this explains how you can use your rigid body component inside your game object. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below if you had a problem or if you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next video.